Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel the air warm, soft, and heavy with the scent of salt and sweetness. You're standing in Rio de Janeiro, where the ocean and the mountains meet, where the rhythm of the waves blends with the rhythm of life itself. The sound around you is alive. Distant laughter, the soft murmur of conversation, the hush of waves brushing against the sand. Somewhere nearby, someone hums a quiet tune, the notes floating like sunlight across the breeze. You let the sound settle over you, a gentle hum that calms your heartbeat. It's late afternoon, and the sky glows in shades of gold and peach. You begin to walk along Copacabana Beach, the most famous curve of sand in the world. The waves roll in and retreat in perfect rhythm, their foam tracing silver lines on the wet shore. The air tastes faintly of salt and coconut, a mixture of the sea and the scent of sunscreen left over from the day. As you walk, you notice the footprints in the sand, hundreds of them fading as the tide comes in. Each one a small story, a memory carried away by the ocean. You walk slowly, barefoot, the warm sand soft beneath your feet, the sound of the sea like a lullaby that pulls you gently towards stillness. The sun lowers behind the mountains, painting Sugarloaf Mountain in amber light. The giant rock rises from the ocean like a sleeping giant, ancient and quiet. Birds glide across the sky, their wings catching the last rays of sunlight. Everything feels warm, soft, and golden. You pause to watch the horizon. The waves glitter like melted glass. People begin to leave the beach now, their laughter fading into the distance. The city hums softly behind you, cars moving slowly, the distant echo of music from a bar, the occasional bark of a dog. But even those sounds feel gentle, part of the city's rhythm. You take a seat near the water, watching the tide roll in closer. You feel tiny droplets of seawater on your skin, cool and refreshing. The air changes as the sun dips lower, becoming thicker, sweeter, slower. The first stars begin to appear above the mountains. You close your eyes. Behind your eyelids, the light turns from orange to pink to purple. The day fades, and the night begins to breathe. You can almost feel the heartbeat of the city. Steady, comforting. Rio is alive, but it doesn't rush. It sways like the tide, like a slow dance. You hear the faint sound of a guitar somewhere nearby. Slow, melancholic chords drifting through the warm air. A soft voice hums along, and for a moment, you can't tell where the music ends and the night begins. You take another deep breath. The scent of the ocean mixes with something faintly floral, the night-blooming jasmine that grows near the sidewalks. You can almost taste the sweetness of it on your tongue. The sand cools beneath you as the light fades. You lie back, feeling the earth beneath you solid and calm. The waves roll closer, the foam brushing your feet. The stars above grow brighter. Each one flickers gently like a candle in the distance. You open your eyes for a moment to take it all in. The dark curve of the mountains, the shimmering lights of the city, the deep blue of the sky. Then you close them again, letting the rhythm of the waves pull you deeper. You feel safe here. You feel the world slowing down, your breath matching the tide. In and out, soft and easy. Rio whispers softly around you, in the sigh of the sea, in the hum of a distant song, in the warmth of the night. Tells you to rest, to let go, to dream. You listen. You breathe. And as the stars climb higher over the ocean, you begin your quiet journey through the sleeping city. The night has fully arrived in Rio, wrapping the city in soft shadows and silver light. The ocean hums behind you as you make your way inland, leaving the sound of waves for the quiet rhythm of the hills. The air is still warm but carries a gentle breeze now. A breeze that smells of rain, distant flowers, and something sweetly smoky from a nearby kitchen. You walk through the narrow streets of Santa Teresa, one of Rio's oldest and most soulful neighborhoods. The cobblestones glisten faintly from a light mist earlier in the evening. Old street lamps cast halos of golden light, illuminating walls painted in soft shades of blue and yellow. The houses are small and charming, their balconies heavy with bougainvillea, spilling purple petals that scatter across the road like confetti left after a quiet celebration. Somewhere in the distance, a band practices, the faint sound of drums, a slow rhythm that rises and fades with the wind. You pause to listen. The beat is steady, warm, almost like a heartbeat. It feels alive, yet calming, as if the city itself is breathing through the drums. As you wander higher into the hills, you reach a viewpoint overlooking the city. Below, Rio stretches out like a tapestry of lights, golden against the dark ocean. The Christ the Redeemer statue stands tall in the distance, glowing faintly against the night sky. The statue's arms are open wide, as if embracing the sleeping city beneath. You take a moment to just look, to breathe, to feel the vastness. The city hums softly below, cars like fireflies moving along the curved roads, laughter echoing faintly from the beaches, a saxophone playing somewhere in Lapa far away. You feel the pulse of Rio, steady, gentle, alive. You sit on a low stone wall, the air cool against your skin. You can feel the mountain beneath you, solid and ancient. The smell of damp earth mixes with the scent of tropical flowers. You tilt your head back to see the stars again, brighter now that you're higher above the city. They scatter across the sky like spilled diamonds, reflecting faintly in your eyes. For a moment, you imagine the stories of this place, the somber rhythms that were born in these hills, the poets who wrote about this view, the lovers who whispered dreams under these same stars. The night feels timeless, like every memory that ever existed here still hums softly in the air. You start walking again, passing small cafes and studios still glowing from within. An artist paints by candlelight, his brush moving slowly across a canvas. He looks up and smiles as you pass, as if he already knows you belong to this calm night. The streets twist and turn, guiding you gently downhill again. You don't rush, there's no reason to. Every step feels part of something larger, a slow rhythm that matches your breathing. Somewhere a window is open, and the sound of gentle bossa nova floats through the air. A soft guitar, a voice humming low, like a lullaby made of sunlight and sea breeze. You pass a mural painted on a wall, a splash of color in the darkness. Faces, flowers, waves, and birds swirl together in blues and oranges. Even the art here seems alive, like the walls themselves dream while the city sleeps. At the bottom of the hill, a tram rolls by. The Bond, Rio's yellow streetcar. Its bell rings softly, echoing through the night. The sound is old, familiar, comforting. You watch as it passes, disappearing slowly around a curve. You stand there for a while, feeling the peace that follows. The night air settles around you like a blanket. Your shoulders drop, your breath deepens. You feel weightless, present, calm. In this city where the sea meets the mountains, where music and silence live side by side, you find balance. Every light, every sound, every whisper feels like part of a song meant to soothe you. You close your eyes again, and for a moment you feel yourself swaying gently, not to the rhythm of samba, but to the rhythm of the night itself. Low, peaceful, endless. You are safe here. The world is soft here. And as the faint hum of distant drums fades into the night, you drift deeper, carried by Rio's heartbeat, wrapped in the warmth of the hills, slowly moving toward the dreams waiting below. You follow the tram tracks as they lead you gently downhill. The streets widen again, and the air becomes saltier, warmer. You can hear the soft hush of the waves before you even see them. The heartbeat of Rio, the ocean, is calling you closer. When you finally step onto the sand of Ipanema Beach, the world feels like it's holding its breath. The city lights shimmer behind you, reflected faintly on the wet sand, while the ocean glows under the moonlight. Endless, quiet, alive. A soft breeze moves through your hair. It carries the scent of sea salt and distant jasmine. The waves roll in and out with the gentlest rhythm, whispering against the shore like words you can almost understand. You sit down where the water barely reaches your feet. The sand is cool, the ocean colder, but pleasant, grounding. Every wave that touches you feels like a small reminder that you're here, now breathing with the earth. Behind you, faint laughter echoes from a beach bar still open. A few people talk softly, their voices blending with the rhythm of the waves. A guitar plays somewhere nearby, slow, dreamy, like the city's heartbeat has turned into melody. The moon reflects across the surface of the water like a trembling ribbon of light. You follow it with your eyes, out toward the horizon, where the sea becomes the sky and the night becomes infinite. Time doesn't move here. The world feels suspended between one breath and the next. Every sound, the waves, the distant music, even your own breathing, seems to fit perfectly into the silence. You close your eyes. The ocean speaks again, in slow, repeating rhythms, like it's syncing with your heartbeat. Up, up. You let go. Your thoughts drift like clouds. You think about how everything in this city seems to move with music. The waves, the lights, even the silence has rhythm. Rio doesn't rush. Sways. A soft hum of thunder rolls in from far over the Atlantic. Lightning flashes faintly behind distant clouds, just enough to light up the horizon. The glow fades almost instantly, but its memory stays. You look back once more at the glowing city, Copacabana curling like a ribbon of gold, the hills like dark waves frozen in time, the Christ statue still shining faintly above it all. You smile not because anything happened, but because nothing needs to. The night is perfect in its stillness. You stay until the waves blur into your dreams. By morning, a soft rain begins to fall. It doesn't pour. It dances, fine drops catching the early light as they drift through the air like silver threads. The city smells fresh, renewed. You make your way through Lapa, the neighborhood of arches, rhythm, and soul. The cobblestones are wet and glistening, and every sound seems louder. Footsteps, laughter, even raindrops drumming on umbrellas. The Arcos de Lapa stand tall and pale against the gray sky. Roman arches in the middle of the tropics, timeless and strange. Beneath them, the city hums awake. Street vendors set up their carts, selling fresh pastries and strong coffee. The smell is irresistible. Sweet dough, roasted beans, and the faint scent of rain-soaked pavement. You stop at one of the stalls. The man behind it hands you a cup with a smile that feels warmer than the coffee itself. Steam curls upward as you sip, fogging your vision for a moment. You breathe in deeply, warmth, earth, rain. The coffee tastes of dark sugar and life. Music begins somewhere nearby. Not loud but full. Someone strums a guitar, another taps a rhythm on a wooden box. Within seconds, voices join in, soft, imperfect, human. You stand there listening, the rain now softer, falling between the beats like part of the song. Lapa has that power. It turns ordinary moments into small miracles. Crowd gathers. Strangers smile at each other, move slightly to the rhythm, share umbrellas. The world feels united in something simple. Sound, warmth, connection. The rain slows, the music fades, and the air smells of wet stone and happiness. You walk again, past the murals, the arches, the old bars still sleeping from the night before. Somewhere above the rooftops, sunlight breaks through the clouds. It hits the wet pavement, and for a moment, everything glows. You stop walking. Just watch. The entire city seems to breathe in that light, like it's waking up smiling. By the time afternoon arrives, Rio feels like it's wrapped in gold. The rain has cleared, leaving the air washed clean, the colors sharper, the sky endlessly blue. You find yourself back near the water, this time along Copacabana, where the curved beach stretches for miles like a golden crescent. The black and white mosaic walkway shimmers in the sunlight, each wave pattern echoing the sea beside it. People stroll slowly, unhurried. Old men playing chess, children chasing pigeons, couples sharing coconut water under the palms. The world feels soft here, easy. You walk barefoot again. The sand is warm now, almost hot. The sea glitters like liquid glass, rolling lazily onto the shore. Seagulls wheel overhead, their cries sharp against the hum of the city behind you. Somewhere, a radio plays an old bossa nova tune. The melody drifts through the air like a warm memory. You stop near the water's edge and close your eyes. The sun warms your face. The ocean cools your feet. Between those two sensations, everything else disappears. Rio in daylight feels like a promise that even after storms, the world will glow again. The hills, the ocean, the people. Everything here seems to shimmer with quiet joy. You open your eyes, and the city is alive again. The sand reflects the light like gold dust. The waves keep moving, eternal and calm. And as the afternoon deepens, you realize something simple but true. Rio doesn't need to ask you to slow down. Just makes you want to. You take another step along the water, feeling the rhythm of your heart match the rhythm of the waves. Steady, peaceful, infinite. The city hums behind you. The sea sings before you. And for one golden moment, it feels like you belong to both. The cable car glides upward in slow motion, suspended between sea and sky. The city beneath you unfolds like a dream, beaches curving in golden ribbons, the ocean stretching into eternity, and the mountains rising like emerald waves. The air is warm, soft, alive with that faint electric hum that only Rio seems to have. You press your hand against the cool glass as the car ascends toward Pau de Açúcar, Sugarloaf Mountain. The ocean reflects the lowering sun, deep orange, melting into pink and violet tones. The higher you climb, the quieter everything becomes. Voices fade. The sound of the city softens until only the whisper of the wind remains. At the top, the world opens. You step out into stillness. Below you, the beaches curl like ribbons of light. The boats in the harbor look like tiny white leaves floating on a mirror. The sun dips lower, kissing the horizon. It paints everything in liquid gold. The waves, the rooftops, even the clouds. The light touches your face, warm and forgiving. You breathe in deeply, and it feels like inhaling peace. Somewhere behind you, a couple laughs softly. A group of friends clinks glasses. But mostly there is silence, the kind of silence that holds sound rather than emptiness. As the last sliver of sun disappears into the ocean, the world seems to sigh. The lights of Rio begin to flicker one by one, small sparks against the blue twilight. You watch the Christ statue light up on the distant mountain, arms open wide as if to embrace the entire city. Night arrives gently, like a blanket being drawn over everything. The air cools. The sky deepens into velvet blue. You close your eyes. The sound of the waves reaches you even up here. Soft, steady, timeless. You imagine the ocean below, the streets, the laughter, the music, all blending into one heartbeat. And as darkness settles, you realize you're not just looking at Rio. You're feeling it breathe. The tram rattles softly as it winds through Santa Teresa, the artistic soul of Rio. The night is deep now, but the streets are alive with faint yellow lights spilling from balconies and open windows. You lean out slightly, the warm air brushing your face. The city hums below, distant drums from Lapa, laughter carried up the hill, the faint echo of ocean waves. Everything blends into a rhythm, a lullaby made of sound and scent. Santa Teresa feels different. Slower, older, wrapped in nostalgia. The cobblestone streets glisten faintly from the earlier rain, and vines creep along pastel-colored walls. You pass murals, small cafes, art studios with soft jazz leaking through the doors. You step off the tram near a tiny square. There's a cafe still open, a yellow light glowing softly in the window. Inside, an old record spins, crackling quietly. The smell of coffee and sweet pastry fills the air. You sit by the window watching the street outside. The tram passes again, its lights flickering like a firefly. Somewhere nearby, a cat stretches on a wall, then disappears into the night. You sip your drink slowly, tasting the warmth, feeling it spread through you. Everything here moves at half speed. The city outside feels distant, like it belongs to another world. Santa Teresa is a place that remembers. Old songs, old love stories, and forgotten dreams. You can feel them in the air, in the cracks of the walls, in the sound of the tram echoing down the hill. When you step outside again, the air is cooler. The moonlight paints the street silver. A single lantern swings gently in the breeze. You walk downhill slowly, each step light, unhurried. The stones under your feet are smooth, worn by time. Somewhere far away, you can see the glow of the bay, tiny stars reflecting on water. The night feels endless but soft. Rio doesn't sleep. Dreams. By the time you reach Corcovado, dawn is near. The sky is just beginning to lighten, pale blue bleeding into the last traces of night. The air is cool and thin, carrying the faint scent of eucalyptus from the forest below. You climb the final steps slowly, your heartbeat matching the rhythm of your breath. Then there it is, the Christ the Redeemer statue, standing vast and silent against the awakening sky. For a moment you can't speak. The world feels suspended. The clouds drift beneath your feet like soft rivers, and the city stretches endlessly below. Silent, glowing, infinite. You walk closer, and the marble under your fingers is cool, damp from the mist. The statue's arms reach wide, as if holding every dream, every fear, every heartbeat of the city beneath. The first rays of sunlight break over the horizon. They touch the ocean, the mountains, the rooftops, and finally your face. Everything turns golden once again. Quiet, sacred, new. You breathe in deeply, and the world exhales with you. From up here, Rio looks different. Gentler, smaller, fragile even. You can see the waves rolling in slow motion, the distant curve of Copacabana, the silver line of the tram winding through the hills. The city is waking up, slowly, beautifully. Smoke rises from chimneys, a dog barks, someone laughs. Life begins again. And you, still standing in the soft dawn light, feel something loosen in your chest, the way tension melts when you finally let yourself rest. You close your eyes one last time. The sound of birds, the hum of wind, the whisper of the ocean far below, it all blends into one final song. A song that feels like morning and sleep at the same time. A song that says, "It's okay to drift now." You let go. The world fades to light. The morning light drips gently through the trees of Jardim Botanico, Rio's lush botanical garden. Dew still clings to the leaves, turning every blade of grass into a thread of glass. The world is quiet here, wrapped in a soft green glow. You walk along a narrow path, the ground still damp beneath your shoes. Tall palms rise like cathedral columns, their fronds catching the sunlight in shimmering waves. Somewhere nearby, a bird calls, sharp and brief, and then silence returns deeper than before. The air smells of earth and rain and something faintly sweet. Orchids, maybe, or blooming lilies. You breathe it in slowly, and each breath feels like a small act of peace. You pass under an arch of bamboo, their hollow stalks creaking gently in the breeze. Ahead, a small pond mirrors the morning sky. The reflection is so clear that it's hard to tell where the water ends and the air begins. A soft breeze stirs the surface. Rings of light ripple outward, catching tiny flecks of gold from the sun. You stop and watch. Just that movement, simple and endless. Somewhere, water trickles over stone, and the faint murmur blends perfectly with the hum of insects. The rhythm is slow, hypnotic, like the heartbeat of the forest itself. As you walk deeper into the garden, time begins to blur. The world feels ancient here, patient, unhurried. You can almost imagine that each leaf, each root, remembers every sunrise that's ever been. The warmth of the sun grows stronger now, filtering through the canopy. You tilt your face upward, eyes half closed. The light feels like a touch. In the distance, you can see the faint outline of the Christ statue above the trees, arms open as if guarding the city. The sight feels comforting, like the city itself is watching over you as you walk. You sit on a stone bench near a small stream. The water moves lazily, catching tiny bits of sunlight like drifting sparks. You listen, not to words but to silence speaking in its own language. You let your eyes close for a moment, and when you open them again, the world hasn't changed. Only you have softened. You leave the garden behind, stepping once more into the pulse of the city. But even here, Rio feels softer now, like it's still half asleep, wrapped in the calm of the morning. The streets of Centro are waking up slowly. Market stalls open one by one, their awnings snapping in the breeze. The smell of bread and roasted coffee drifts through the air, mingling with the faint salt of the sea. You walk past pastel-colored buildings, their walls faded by years of sun and laughter. A woman sweeps her doorstep, a man tunes his guitar, someone calls out to a friend in the street. Life hums gently, never rushing. A street vendor hands you a cup of fresh coconut water, cold, sweet, refreshing. You thank him, and he smiles like the morning belongs to everyone. You walk toward Cinelandia, where old theaters stand like sleeping giants. Their doors are still closed, but you can almost hear echoes of music behind them. Soft piano notes, fading applause. The light falls differently here. It glows between the buildings, turning shadows into rivers of gold. Every window reflects something: a bird, a passing cloud, the slow dance of sunlight. You pause near the steps of a grand library. Its doors are open, the cool air inside smelling faintly of paper and wood. You step in, if only for a moment, and the world outside fades into stillness. Rows of old books line the walls, their spines soft and faded. You run your hand along them as you walk, feeling the dust, the history. You take one down and flip it open. Words in Portuguese you don't fully understand but somehow feel. You close the book and step outside again. The air feels warmer now, brighter. Somewhere, a church bell rings once, twice, each chime hanging in the air like a note that refuses to fade. The city breathes with you, slow, deep, and kind. By midday, you find yourself at the edge of Lagoa Rodrigo de Freitas, the great lagoon that mirrors both the sky and the mountains. The air is clear, full of light, and the water glimmers like polished glass. You walk along the trail that circles the lagoon. Cyclists pass with gentle rhythm. Joggers move quietly by. Children laugh in the distance. Yet despite all the motion, the world feels still. Across the water, the mountains rise steep and green, and above them, the Christ statue watches silently. The reflection shimmers on the surface, heaven and earth touching in water. You sit on a wooden bench beneath a tree, its leaves whispering softly in the wind. The air carries the faint scent of fruit, guava, mango, something tropical and sweet. You close your eyes and let the sounds blend. Footsteps, laughter, the hum of bees, the gentle splash of oars. Each one is a note in the city's quiet song. You imagine the entire city breathing in harmony, the sea inhaling, the hills exhaling, everything connected by invisible rhythm. When you open your eyes again, the light has shifted. The water now glows pale gold, the first hints of evening beginning to form. Birds cross the sky in slow, graceful arcs. You take a deep breath, and for a moment, it feels like you're inhaling the whole city, the warmth, the noise, the calm, the heart. And as you exhale, you feel lighter. The sun begins its descent, and the hills of Vidigal glow in amber light. You walk upward through narrow paths lined with murals, bursts of color against fading stone. The air smells of grilled food, fresh paint, and life. Children play soccer in a small open space. A woman laughs from a balcony. Music drifts from a radio. Soft samba, the heartbeat of the evening. You keep climbing. The higher you go, the wider the view becomes. The sea stretches endlessly to your left. The city curls below like a golden river of light. You stop at a terrace near the top. Someone's playing guitar. A small crowd sits together, watching the sun sink into the horizon. You join them quietly. The sky melts into orange and pink, then deep violet. The ocean mirrors it all. Light fading into shadow, shadow into calm. When darkness falls, small lights flicker across the hills, thousands of windows glowing like fireflies. You sit in silence, watching, listening. The city no longer feels far away. Feels alive, breathing with you, through you. Someone hums softly beside you. The guitar fades. The air cools. The first stars appear. You close your eyes, the rhythm of the waves echoing faintly in your chest. The night wraps itself around you like a blanket, warm, alive, infinite. And somewhere between the sound of laughter and the sigh of the ocean, you begin to drift again. Not awake, not asleep, just perfectly in between. Darkness settles softly over Rio. Not sudden but slow, like silk spreading across the sky. The air cools, and a silver mist rises from the ocean. You find yourself walking again along the curve of Copacabana Beach, now almost empty, except for the whispering waves and the soft hum of distant traffic. Each step sinks lightly into the cool sand. The ocean glows faintly under the moonlight, the surface rippling with silver lines that stretch as far as your eyes can see. The waves roll in and out, patient, eternal, breathing in rhythm with your own chest. You look out over the water. Far on the horizon, faint lights blink from ships anchored offshore. They look like stars that have fallen into the sea. Behind you, the city's lights shimmer like jewels scattered across the hills. From somewhere high above, faint laughter echoes down the slopes. The world feels both alive and asleep at the same time. A soft breeze brushes your face, carrying the scent of salt and night-blooming flowers. You close your eyes and just listen. The sound of the waves becomes slower, deeper, like a heartbeat you could fall into. You walk closer to the water, until the cool foam touches your toes. The ocean feels alive, gentle, welcoming. Each wave curls forward, whispers something wordless, and retreats again, like a lullaby written in water. Somewhere behind you, faint music drifts from a distant bar. Slow, warm, like a memory fading in and out of time. The rhythm blends perfectly with the ocean's breath. You tilt your head back. The stars are sharp and clear now, thousands of them scattered across a velvet sky. The Southern Cross hangs low, bright and steady. For a moment, you feel as if the world is holding perfectly still, waiting for you to breathe, to rest, to dream. You lie back on the sand, hands folded beneath your head. The sand molds gently to your shape, cool and soft. Above you, the sky moves slowly, a quiet ocean of its own. And as the waves murmur beside you, your thoughts begin to drift away. Slow, light, endless. When you open your eyes again, the air has changed. The stars blur behind a veil of soft gray clouds. You feel the first cool drop of rain on your skin. Then another and another. Gentle, warm, barely there. You stay still, listening. The sound of rain against the ocean is soft, rhythmic, hypnotic. Each drop lands like a small note, joining the larger song of the night. The scent of wet earth and salt grows stronger. The beach glistens faintly as the rain deepens. You sit up slowly, brushing sand from your arms, and start walking again. The water sparkles with every step you take. You find shelter beneath a wooden beach hut, its roof echoing softly under the touch of the rain. Inside, the air is warm and filled with the sound of the storm's heartbeat. A faint mist rises over the city. The lights of Rio blur into halos of gold and blue. The statue of Christ glows faintly through the clouds, arms outstretched, as if holding back the rain itself. You breathe in deeply. The air feels heavy, cleansing, alive. The storm isn't angry. It's soothing, steady, full of life. You close your eyes and listen. Rain, waves, wind, all blending into one single rhythm. The sound becomes slower, deeper, wrapping around you like a melody that only you can hear. Every drop seems to wash away another layer of thought, another echo of worry. Minutes, maybe hours, pass without time. The rain fades, leaving behind only the sound of dripping roofs and quiet water. The world feels freshly painted, darker, softer, peaceful. You step back onto the sand. The moon breaks through again, pale and new. The ocean reflects it perfectly, as if nothing ever happened. And in that moment, you understand what Rio has been teaching you all along, that even storms can be gentle and silence can sing. You make your way uphill again, toward a quiet viewpoint overlooking the entire city. The streets are slick from rain, reflecting the streetlights in ribbons of orange and gold. The air smells faintly of night flowers and fresh earth. When you reach the top, Rio lies below you, endless, glowing, breathing. The beaches form silver curves, the lagoons shimmer like mirrors, and the hills pulse with tiny lights. It doesn't feel like a city anymore. Feels like a dream remembering itself. You sit on a stone wall, looking down at it all. Somewhere far below, the hum of music drifts upward. Soft drums, gentle laughter, the heartbeat of life continuing through the night. A stray dog walks past, pauses, and looks at you for a moment before trotting away. The world feels kind, alive, connected. You close your eyes. The rhythm of the ocean reaches you even here. Distant but unmistakable. The sound rises with the wind, swirling around the buildings, echoing through the valleys, until it becomes one single, endless breath. You imagine the entire city sleeping, the waves guarding its dreams. Every light below you becomes a heartbeat, every shadow a sigh. The moon moves higher. The wind cools. The world feels like it's slowing down, every sound stretching, every breath deepening. You lie back against the warm stone and let the night carry you. The world begins to blur again, not vanish but soften. The edges of sound melt. The rhythm of the waves grows slower, calmer, deeper. You imagine yourself walking once more along the shoreline. The sand glows faintly under the moonlight. The ocean breathes beside you, steady, eternal. Each wave that touches your feet feels lighter, warmer. The night sky bends low, filled with stars. The sound of the city fades completely, replaced by the hush of wind and the whisper of tide. You close your eyes and the ocean keeps speaking, slow, patient, kind. The water moves in and out, matching your breath perfectly. The air is soft against your skin. The scent of salt and jasmine lingers faintly. The sound of your heartbeat slows, merging with the rhythm of the sea. You feel yourself floating, not sinking, not falling, just drifting. The sand beneath you feels lighter, as if it's carrying you upward. The stars shimmer once more, and everything fades into silver light. There's no need to hold on. The waves will carry you now. The city sleeps, the ocean breathes, and somewhere between the sound of the tide and the whisper of the wind, you finally let go. Gently, completely. Sleep comes quietly like the sea at night.